You spent a year getting good at prompt engineering. But here is the uncomfortable truth. In 2026, that is just the baseline. The skill that actually separates working agents from demos that fall apart is loop engineering. And most developers have never heard the term. So if you are a front-end or full-stack developer wondering where you fit in an AI world, this is it. Loop engineering rewards exactly the skills you already have. Thinking in systems, handling edge cases, designing for failure. You are not competing with the model. You are building the machine it runs inside. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what a loop engineer does, the one diagram that explains the whole idea, and the 5 dials you tune to make an agent reliable. So let's get into it. So what changed over the years? Prompt engineering is about one thing: writing the best possible instruction, sending it once and then reading the answer. Prompt in, answer out. That works great for a chatbot. But an agent doesn't answer once. An agent works. It books the flight, fixes the bug, researches the report. And real work is never one step. It is think, do something, look at what happened, adjust and repeat. The moment your AI has to loop, prompting stops being the hard part. The hard part becomes the loop itself. How it decides what to do next, when it is allowed to stop, and how it recovers when a step goes wrong. That is loop engineering. This isn't something which I'm saying. It was crystallized in June 2026 when Peter Steinberger argued the real skill has shifted from prompting agents to designing their loops. And Google's Adi Osmani formalized it in an essay literally titled Loop Engineering. The industry has a name for it now. So prompt engineering is one instruction. Loop engineering is the cycle the agent runs inside. And here is the entire concept in one diagram. There are 4 stations running in a circle. First is perceive, that is, the agent reads the current state. It could be your request, what it has done so far, and the latest result. Then there is reason, where it decides the single next step. And then there is act. It takes that step, usually by calling a tool. And then there is observe, where it looks at what actually happened. Then back to perceive with new information and around again. It keeps looping until the job is done. That's it. That is an agent. Everything fancy you have heard, that is React, tool calling agents, coding agents, is some version of this exact circle. The mental shift is this. As a prompt engineer, you were the loop. You read the output, you decided the next step, and you typed it in. But as a loop engineer, you build the system so it does that on its own. You are not writing the answer, you are designing the machine that finds the answer. A loop that just spins is dangerous. It can run forever, burn money, or confidently do the wrong thing. So around that core loop, a loop engineer tunes 5 dials, and this is the real job. Dial 1 is tools. What can the agent actually do? A tool is a function the agent is allowed to call. It could be search the web, run code, query a database. It could be anything else. Here is a fact that surprises people. On their SWE bench work, Anthropic spent more time optimizing the tools than the prompt. Anthropic even coined a term for this: ACI, the Agent Computer Interface, the agent's version of a UI. If a human needs a clean button, an agent needs a clean tool. Give it fuzzy, badly described tools and no prompt will save you. Then dial 2 is stopping conditions. When is the agent allowed to stop? Stop when the task is done. Sounds obvious, but agents are terrible at judging that. So you set hard limits. Stop after n steps, stop when a test passes, stop when it produces a specific done signal. Without this, your agent loops forever. And then dial 3 is context. What does the agent remember across turns? In every loop, its memory fills up with old results. Too little context and it forgets the goal. Too much and it drowns in noise and gets slow and expensive. Deciding what to keep, summarize, or throw away in each turn, that is context engineering, a dial inside the loop. And then there is dial 4, that is verification. How does the agent check its own work? The strongest agents don't trust their own output. They run the test, reread the file, validate the JSON. Verification is what turns a lucky guess into a reliable result. And then there is dial 5, that is guardrails. What keeps a runaway loop from doing damage? Limits on spend, permission checks before deleting anything, a human approval step for risky actions. Those are guardrails. Guardrails are the seat belt. You hope you never need them, but you never ship without them. So tools is what it can do, stopping is when it quits, context is what it remembers, verification is how it checks itself, and guardrails are what keeps it safe. Did you notice something? Not even one of those 5 dials is a prompt. That is the whole point. Loop engineering lives in the system around the model, not in the wording you send it. So why does this matter now? You might be thinking this sounds like backend architecture, not AI. Exactly, and that is why it matters for your career. As agents get everywhere in 2026, the models keep getting better on their own, but humans still design the loops. The frontier model is a given. The loop is your edge. So if you are a front-end or full-stack developer wondering where you fit in an AI world, this is it. Loop engineering rewards exactly the skills you already have. Thinking in systems, handling edge cases, designing for failure. You are not competing with the model. You are building the machine it runs inside. So start small. Take any task you would normally prompt through by hand and ask, what are the tools? When should it stop? What should it remember? How does it check itself? And what could go dangerously wrong? Answer those 5 and you have done loop engineering. So here is a quick recap for you. Prompt engineering writes one instruction. Loop engineering designs the perceive, reason, act, observe cycle the agent lives in. Tune with 5 dials, that is tools, stopping conditions, context, verification, and guardrails. In next video, we stop talking and start building. We will code your first agent loop from scratch, just using the React pattern. If this made loop engineering click for you, hit subscribe so you don't miss it. I am Ruchi and this is AI with Ruchi. See you in the next one.